First, let me tell you, there are 545 seats in the theater, 300 downstairs and 245 up here. And then let me tell you another story. These red seats were installed when the theater was restored in 2016. However, the original seats that were put in the theater in 1905 came from the same company. Oh, wow. So that's kind of a neat little story. But Kaye came and visited this theater when it was not in the best shape.
We needed hard hats.
Yes.
Hard hats.
Yes, and she toured it all, and she murmured those nice little things. Oh, yeah, this is going to be nice, yeah. And then she looked at me and she said, well, good luck. 2 years later, she came back to a beautifully restored $6.9 million restoration theater, and she was a featured speaker in our Heritage Day event. So, and then we walked around and she said, you know, you could do a quilt retreat here. So the rest of the time she was here, we talked about how we could use the rooms and how the quilt retreat could be. So this was her vision, and then we implemented it. So 7 years you've been doing quilt retreats, and you have been a wonderful friend to the theater for that long. But I thought, well, what could the connection be other than this is a fantastic theater? And I thought, well, restoring a theater is kind of like making a quilt, because you start with parts and pieces, glass, wood, metal, fabric for a quilt, and then you tear it all apart, cut it all apart, and you put it back together to fit your vision. And that's what happened. We went through deconstruction, and everything was taken down, and then gradually, actually in a year, it was built back up. And we kept most of the original things like the plaster and all of that. So the seats have been offered as a fundraiser to the community. Anybody who wants to buy a seat, they get a plaque that is put on there to honor someone or in memory of someone. So this is your seat. And it says, in honor of Kaye England, quilter and friend.
Well, I'm gonna need a little bed brought in because I'm gonna sleep here tonight.
So now we want to do a toast. This is from the board and the staff in appreciation for everything that you have done for us over the years.
Well, it has been a joy. But I'm telling you right now, no one should be able to sit in that.
The good thing about this is Kaye England is always a presence in the historic Masonic Theater.
Yeah. Well, I'm always here in spirit anyhow, so that's great. I'll be here. Thank you.
To your honor, congratulations.
Well, it goes to the theater, it goes to the community, it goes to the board, it goes to all the people that volunteer here, and I've been to enough events to know that everybody is standing in as usher and all of that are volunteers in this community. So it's not, I mean, it is the old saying of taking a village. This takes 2 villages and some employees as well. So it's been a joy, and part of this came about because Kaye was a dear friend, but I didn't love John more than you, but it was close. And this was a lot of John's vision and other people, her husband that worked in the community, a lot of the heads got together and said this could be done. Most people thought it couldn't be done. I don't even know that all the people who live in this area know what a task this was and know what a tribute and a joy this should be. I sometimes think those of us who come here from out of town see it greater than those of you who have it in your backyard. And I have said to anyone who will listen to us, this is where your monies need to go, because these are the people, these are the places it's hard to do. That's why all of the money you guys did and all of that, well, you might be going, oh yeah, I got to buy one more thing. Know that one more light bulb's on and somebody will clean my seat. That's why. I mean, this is like, I mean, I guess we just keep doing it. We never know what we're going to do next, but this is just not a few people. This is a whole lot of people that make this kind of thing happen.
Including you.
Well, and it's, every bit of it's been a joy for me. It's been a ride, that's for sure. So.
Here, here.
Cheers.
I'm going to be on board now.
You are an honorary.
Oh, that's right. I am an honorary, but I want a bigger mouth. Because that that's possible, because I'd like to sit in on one and say, okay, what's next? And how do we get more events here? And if those of you who live within a couple hours and are tied up in this industry or scrapbooking or whatever you do, this should be used more. I mean, this for wedding events and all of that. I just might get married in order to be able to use the event center. Well, that's going a little far. I'll just give some money. But while we joke about it, we tease about it, this is deep. This is really, and for those that I know that live here, John Ed, people who've worked here, it's not just a building. It's just not. And that's why we hope you guys feel that same way when you continue to return, that it's not just a building. So, all right. Thank you.
I want to say one thing. For those of you who haven't been in the lobby, take a second or a few seconds and look at the photograph of John Hillard and what it says. I have to say hello to John every time I come here.
John's the first one who walked me through, and he said, now be real careful, and this stuff's going to be falling. And I mean, it was like this. We had hard hats on. And John's, any of you who knew him, he was glowing. He was like a child had got a new train set.
He never stopped smiling.
He was
ever.
like, and the smile was this wide. And he's just showing everything and where everything was. And I think, because I love history and I love all of that, and immediately I loved it. But as you saw it happen, and then of course the theater is in John's honors, the Johnny Hillard Auditorium.
Yeah.
So, and we were here for that dedication as well. So there's just a lot of good memories and history.
I don't know who else is here, but I came to the movies in this building as a child and paid a quarter.
Did you?
So I'm really not that old, but
Well, Tom Mix was here with his pony, I think.
It was a quarter.
We came in for a quarter and it paid for admission and a box of popcorn and a drink all at the same time.
Oh, my God. For your
I walked from my grandmother's house down here and came in and visited the theater for many times.
Well, it is, and we hope that you guys, especially the ones that are here for the first time, know that regardless of what happens and who does it and when it occurs, that you get that it's not just a building and not just a place you're going. It's a little bit more than that. Yeah. So fundraising is crucial to a facility like this. And there are matching grants all the time, aren't there?
Well, some of this money that you donated or bought auction items for, we have a $92,000 grant, federal grant, to replace and repair the doors. And we have to match that. So this is where
See,
your
that's
money
why
is
it's
going.
so important.
wow.
Okay, excuse me. One other thing to add is that the money we spend here goes a lot to a lot of other people. Every store I have been in has practically kissed my hand
See,
to tell me how great.
talk about the people running businesses in this market.
Because January was really tough.
January's tough everywhere, but especially in a small community where you rely on traffic coming in. So when this group, everyone, the little stores, they've sent Gail texts and said, thank you so much for the business, for the coming in and the commenting, because some days that's a matter of whether they made money that day or didn't. And there's some of it in this room that are in small businesses, so you know the difference between opening the doors and ringing the cash register and not ringing it. So
I've done my part.
yeah, well, thank goodness, and so have all of you, and hallelujah, and let's go back to the room. Or wherever. All right, Carolyn.
There are some young people in this group, and I'm not, but I look at you and I see there's our future.
Yeah.
But this is an opportunity, what we love, what our passion is quilting. That's art. Many quilters don't look at their work as art. True. This is our opportunity to make sure the art that is going on in this theater continues. This is my legacy, and it's yours. So help contribute to it every chance
And we
you get.
can see a lot of good legacy going on.
definitely.
A lot of good legacy.
We've got mothers and daughter. How many? We've got 4 mother and daughter teams, I think, that attend. And even that, Gail and I talked about it, how precious that is. I'm slapping my daughter next week because she didn't come. I don't even think I invited her, but I will next.
But not hard.
Not hard. I don't slap hard, no. But we think that's sweet. So for those of you here with your mom, the mom and daughter teams, we have talked about that a lot, about how precious that is. And we've made fun and picked on you, long arm girl over there, buddy. All right, folks. Thank you so much. This is wonderful.
Thank you.
Wonderful. Wonderful.